Yeah, and you know what that tells me more than anything is that Brett Beatty's probably safe to be on this roster. I mean, it definitely tells me, number one, Luis Angel Acuna is definitely remaining on the roster, but it also tells me Brett Beatty probably is too. With Jose Siri out for the next 8 to 12 weeks, obviously, the Mets don't have a backup center fielder at this point. The next best option after Tyrone Taylor would probably be Luis Angel Acuna, and that's the reason why Jeff McNeil is getting some reps out there in center field. So, interesting answer there from Mendoza. I do believe that both Brett Beatty and Luis Angel Acuna will be safe when McNeil does return from this injury. Sorry we weren't live for that first portion of this here. If I asked you guys in the chat, let me know, drop your final score prediction for game 2 for the Mets versus Phillies. You really didn't miss a whole lot, just kind of a recap so far of yesterday's game, and then what Mendoza right there just had to say about the return of Jeff McNeil. Hopefully sooner than later, but we shall see. So with that being said, let's get into today's matchup as the Mets look to take the middle game of this series from the Phillies. So again, the Mets improved to 16-7. That gives them a share of the best record in baseball with the San Diego Padres and the LA Dodgers. And now today we'll look to go 4 up on the Phillies in the National League East standings. So on the bump today for the Mets is Griffin Canning, and Canning has been fantastic 4 starts into his Mets tenure so far. A 3.43 ERA over 21 innings pitched, and he's probably coming off his best start in a Mets uniform. That came last Thursday in the opener against the Cardinals, where he went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run on 3 hits and 2 walks, and he also struck out 8 versus the Cardinals. First and only time that he's gone a full 6 innings so far in with the Mets through his first 4 appearances. So he'll look to keep the good times going. He, of course, we know, spent his entire career with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Orange County in California, so he doesn't have a whole lot of experience against the Philadelphia Phillies in his career. But one start against them, it actually came last April of 2024. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 walks. Angels actually won that game 6-5 against the Phillies. So yay, go Angels. Happy for that. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup this afternoon. If I can get rid of that, that would be great. Here we go. So it's actually the exact same lineup that we saw the Phillies trot out there on Monday as well. Bryson Stott, Trey Turner hitting second, Bryce Harper hitting third, Kyle Schwarber hitting cleanup, Nick Castellanos is fifth, followed by Max Kepler, JT Realmuto, Alec Bohm, and then Johan Rojas. He rounds things out for them. So career numbers against Griffin Canning, like I said, there's not a whole lot of experience for Canning against the Phillies, and for the most part, a lot of these guys have been with Philadelphia for the last several years, so not a ton of track record here. Bryson Stott is hitless in 2 at-bats. Trey Turner has a hit in 3 turns. Bryce Harper hitless in 3. Kyle Schwarber is 1 for 3. Nick Castellanos, probably the most experience out of anyone in this Phillies lineup against Griffin Canning. He is 2 for 8 with a double and a triple. Max Kepler is 1 for 2. JT Realmuto has never faced Griffin Canning before. Alec Bohm is 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And then Johan Rojas is hitless in 2 at-bats against Griffin Canning. So keys for me to be watching for today from not only Canning, but the Mets pitching staff. We'll start with Canning. Can he build off that last great start against the Cardinals? We know the Cardinals entered that series with the 3rd highest scoring offense in Major League Baseball. He did a really good job of neutralizing them in that one, so that was really great to see. Can he continue to build on it? He obviously went 6 innings. Would love to see him continue to stretch that arm out and continue to go deep into games. That's kind of been the progression for him to this point in the season. So I'm very, very much looking into that and keeping an eye on that for Canning. He controlled the strike zone. He's given up at least 2 walks per start this year, never more than 3 though. Can he do that with the Phillies? And it would be hard to tell from their at-bats last night from Philadelphia, but they actually have the lowest chase rate in all of baseball. They were swinging at just about everything yesterday, maybe because Big Drip Tyler McGill was so nasty, but I'll be interested to see if Griffin Canning can still make the Phillies chase tonight, or if he's going to be able to win against them, even being in the zone. And then secondly, as far as the Mets staff overall, what does the bullpen look like tonight? We know Max Kranick gave us the 7th and 8th inning. Unfortunately, couldn't close out the game for us. He's not going to be available either way, but now is Edwin Diaz available. Wasn't exactly a super hard-working 9th inning for him. Obviously, he gives up the 3-run homer to Stott, but then he made pretty quick work of Trea Turner and Bryce Harper to close that game out. So I do think in a pinch that Diaz could be used, but I do believe that Mendoza also would probably like to avoid him. The good news is I'd imagine Jose Butzo, AJ Minter, Ryan Stanek, and even Reed Garrett, who only got 2 outs last night, should be available out of the pen for the Mets. So that's what I will be watching for. Meanwhile, going up against him is Christopher Sanchez, who has quietly put together a really solid career for the Phillies. He is a left-hander entering his 5th season now. All-star last year. Great start to 2025. Through 4 starts so far, a 2.96 ERA over 24 innings pitched. And his last time out, gave up just 2 runs in 7 innings against a pretty solid San Francisco Giants offense. So his career versus the Mets last year, we know in the NLDS, he pitched 5 innings. The Mets got to him for 2 runs. But in the regular season, 6 starts plus 3 relief appearances. He owns a 3.62 ERA over 37 innings in that time. 2024, he actually made 3 starts against the Mets. The first one came in April. He went about 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. He was really solid, though, in September. 2 separate starts against the Mets. The first one, 7 innings of 1-run ball. The next one, he followed it up with 5 innings of 2-run ball. So going to be a bit of a challenge for the Mets today. I wouldn't exactly say that Sanchez has their number, but he's definitely a solid pitcher, and the Mets haven't exactly broken out against him in the past. And this is going to be the Mets lineup. A little bit of a different look today. Good news, though, Mark Vientos back in it. Love to see that as he was starting to get hot in that series with the Cardinals. Overall, top 3 looks the same. Pretty ordinary, what we would typically see. Francisco Lindor leading off. We'll see if he can go 3 straight games with a leadoff home run. That has never been done before in Mets history. Juan Soto hitting 2nd and Pete Alonso hitting 3rd. Then we have Mark Vientos returning to the lineup. He's hitting cleanup. Starling Marte hits 5th as he gets in there against the left-hander. Luis Torrens hits 6th, followed by Tyrone Taylor. Luis Angel Acuna right behind him, and then rounded out by Jose Azocar. So Jose Azocar getting a somewhat rare start, I would say. I think we saw him on Sunday. It might have been Saturday against the Cardinals. I can't recall. But overall numbers for these guys against Sanchez in their careers. Lindor is 3 for 9, including 2 walks. Juan Soto is 2 for 7, but of those 5 times he's been out, 4 strikeouts for Sanchez against Soto. So that will be interesting to watch. Pete Alonso is 4 for 18, a home run, but kind of like Soto, also has struck out 7 times against Sanchez. Mark Vientos is hitless in 7 at-bats against the Phillies left-hander. Starling Marte, though, good numbers. 4 for 11, a home run, and 3 RBIs. Luis Torrens, no hits in 4 at-bats. Tyrone Taylor, just 1 hit against Sanchez, but it was a solo home run. So a couple home runs in this lineup against Sanchez in the past. Luis Angel Acuna is 0 for 4 in his career, and Jose Azocar has never faced Sanchez in the past. So the Mets put up 5 again yesterday. I wouldn't exactly say it was the most impressive performance from the offense, though. It was really Francisco Lindor and a little bit of Jesse Winker sprinkled in there. We were this close to getting the first Juan Soto home run as a Met at Citi Field. Nonetheless, I'd like to see the Mets hopefully make Sanchez work. Now, Sanchez is a very good pitcher. There's every possibility that this guy goes deep into this game and has a great performance against the Mets. That being said, if that is the case, I hope the Mets at least get into some deep counts and make him work. Get into that Philly bullpen. It is the 2nd worst bullpen in all of Major League Baseball by earned run average. We saw it last night. Francisco Lindor's 2nd homer, a 3-run shot off of a Phillies reliever. Even if the Mets don't get to Sanchez, hopefully they can make it a very uncomfortable and short stay for him in this start against them at Citi Field. If you can get to that bullpen, I fully believe the Mets have every chance to win this game as long as it's within 1, 2, even 3 runs. That's how bad the Phillies bullpen has been so far this year. Meanwhile, like I just said, Juan Soto, man, I want to see him get that first Citi Field home run as a Met. He was so close to getting it yesterday. I think it would have been just so good for him to finally be able to get that monkey off his back. I wouldn't say he's pressing anymore at this point. I think last week he was, but even as recently as this week, not so much. And I think a lot of it has to do with the standing ovation that he got from Mets fans on Friday, right before his game-tying single. He even said it after that game. We as fans don't realize how much it means to the players when they feel that type of support. And I really do believe he's starting to feel more comfortable, showing some better swings and approaches at the plate. He was so close to knocking that one out of the park. So really hope Soto hits that first Citi Field homer as a Met either tonight or tomorrow before they have to go back on the road and he has to keep having that in the back of his head. I doubt it's truly bothering him, but it would be nice for him to just get it out of the way, take that sigh of relief, a deep breath, and not have to be thinking about it anymore. Guys, unfortunately, this chat got a little messed up here and it's not exactly cooperating for me. The live stream got a little messed up too, but drop your thoughts in the chat over here. What do you guys think? What are your final score predictions for Mets versus Phillies game 2 here on Tuesday night? Me, personally, I got the Mets winning again. How could I go against them? They're red hot, 5 in a row, looking to make it 6 in a row. I got the Mets winning this one by a final of 6-4. So going to be another tight one, just like yesterday. I'm hoping for no late inning bullpen theatrics like we got from Edwin Diaz and Max Kranick yesterday. Like I said, you can check out my channel where I posted videos about both Edwin Diaz and whether the Mets should be questioning if they can trust him in the back end of the pen. But I also had a positive one, which was, has Tyler McGill cemented his spot in this rotation? 10 strikeouts yesterday, absolutely carved up that Phillies lineup, struck out every one of them, 1 through 9, at least once in his appearance yesterday. He got Nick Castellanos twice, and on the same day that Pope Francis passed away. I mean, that's unheard of. We all know the Castellanos curse, right? Always hitting a bomb on weird event days like that. So hopefully the Mets will be getting another W today and they can extend their lead in the NL East to 4 games over the Phillies. Griffin Canning taking on Christopher Sanchez. We're going to be back here with a post-game stream again, hopefully after the Mets' 6th consecutive victory. So be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn channel notifications on so you know when I'm going live. We will be doing that at the conclusion of tonight's Mets-Phillies game. So until then, I'm Tony Metro. Stay true to the orange and blue.